Hi guys, welcome to Linux YouTube channel. My name is Ram Mishra and I'm your online instructor. So what's in this video? In this video we will talk about how to work with TerraGrunt. But before start the lab session we need to understand few points, which is what is TerraGrunt and how we can simplify infrastructure management with TerraGrunt. So as you can see, this is the official documentation of TerraGrunt, and here the things are clearly mentioned: how to quick start, how you can go with overview, installation, all the things are mentioned here. So, but if I'm sharing my experience with TerraGrunt, TerraGrunt is a thin wrapper for Terraform that provide extra tool for keeping your Terraform configuration dry. Dry means do not repeat yourself, managing remote state and working with the multiple environments. So what is TerraGrunt? In simple terms, TerraGrunt is a helper tool for Terraform that make it easier to reuse Terraform code without copying pasting, managing environments like dev, staging, and prod more cleanly, handle your remote state like using S3 for storing state, and keep your infrastructure code dry, which is do not repeat yourself. So think of it just like as a smart wrapper that make working with the Terraform projects more organized and less repetitive. If I'm trying to explain with real life example, imagine you have a recipe to bake a cake. You don't want to rewrite the whole recipe every time you bake for a different events like birthday, wedding, etc. Instead, you reuse the main recipe and just change the toppings or shape for each occasion, right? So TerraGrant does the same. It lets you reuse the main Terraform code but adjust the variable configuration per environment. So let's do the lab session. We'll see how we can simplify infrastructure management with TerraGrant. Let's start the lab session. So I'm in back on my Linux machine. Here you can see I'm working on Linux terminal. So first of all, let me show you the OS release version. So if I go get etc Red Hat release, this is RHEL 9.3. I'm using on 9.3 right now. And before we begin, we ensure you have two tools are available on your Linux box, which is Terraform and TerraGrant. So let's install both tool one by one. So for installation of Terraform, let's go the official documentation. So I'll open a new tab and go Terraform registry.io. I'll go to the bottom and here from download CLI, click on the installation part and select your platform. So my platform is RHEL, so I'll go with CentOS RHEL, copy the entire code, right click and paste. First of all, it will install YumUtils package, then it will add the repository of HashiCorp, and then finally install Terraform. So you can see Terraform 1.1141 is going to be available on my machine in very soon, right? In the same manner, we will install TerraGrant, right? So let it be complete first. Done. Terraform hyphen hyphen version. So 1.114 is there and Terraform hyphen hyphen helps. So commands are available. Now next step we need to install TerraGrant. So go back the same scenario on the documentation, click on the install here, and as per the download from release page, the steps are clearly mentioned here how to install TerraGrant. So we need to download the binary file, then rename it with TerraGrant and assign executable permission, and finally save it in the path variable. Or what you can do, you can use a specify version. If you want to go with the specify version, you can click on the release page like here and simply go to the bottom and select the latest one. In my case, I'll go with TerraGrant Linux AMD 64. Copy the link address and simply run wget command and download the complete binary from here to Linux. Now it's patching the code from there. Once it's successfully done, we'll copy and make it executable and save it in the path variable format. So now it's done. Let me go with TerraGrant to USR local and bin TERRAGRUNT and then make it executable. Run the command chmod plus x, remove it the TerraGrant Linux under AMD64 and TERRA TerraGrant is available. Let's check the version. See, version is there, and if I go hyphen hyphen help commands are also available. That's cool. So we have apply, destroy, force, import, init, plan, refresh, all things are available. So now both tools are successfully installed. Let's move to the next step, which is deploy EC2 instance on two different environments. For example, one for prod and another one for the development, but different value like instance type, tag name, and AMI images different for different environment. So let me create the simple first of all directory structure for TerraGrunt management point of view, right? I'll make a folder project project. I'll move inside the project folder and I'll make a folder modules modules and environment IRONMENT. So here I create a my project folder and inside that one I create a module folder because TerraGrunt rely on modules, and second folder which represent my different environment. So let's go with the module first and try to make complete configuration files like main configuration, variable configuration, and output configuration. So I'll go to the module folder and here I make a new folder named EC2. Then I'll move to the EC2 module here and here I will create touch main.tf file plus variables variables.tf file and output.tf file. That's it. So inside my this EC2 model folder I have three files. Let's go put up the entry one by one. First of all, we talk about main.tf file. So this file contains the main configuration file for EC2 instance. So let me copy the code from my notepad. Here it is. The code is very simple. Entire code is available on the official documentation of Terraform. You can grab it from there. But for simplicity, I'll just copy and paste from my notepad. So here I define my provider, that is AWS, and reason, which is the form of variable, and launch one resource which is EC2 resource having AMI, instance type, key name, and tag. Everything is in the variable format, right? Now save and quit. Let's go with the another one which is variable.tf file. So again I'll go and copy the code from my notepad file and then try to explain. So this is basically variable.tf file. So this file defines the input variable for the EC2 module. So here you define every variable name with the variable block with its description. So my variable name is reason, then AMI ID, then instance underscore type, key name, and instance name, right? So I'll save and quit this variable.tf file. Let's move to the next one, output.tf file. So output.tf file, let me copy the code again from my notepad. This is output.tf file. So inside output.tf file, we define output block, one for instance ID and second for public IP, right? So this file output the instance ID and the public IP after the creation. So save and quit. Now in my module, we have successfully configured my main, output, and variable. Let's move to the next step, which is configure TerraGrunt configuration file for each environment. So I am back on my project folder and in my environment section. Currently, none of the file or directory is there. So let's configure TerraGrunt file for deployment and production environment. So first of all, let me create a environment folder with mkdir prod, and the second one is development. That's it. Now move to the first of all prod, and here I need to create a file which is terragrunt.scl. So I open TerraGrunt.scl. Okay, now we need to define some entries here. So let me go. This is for production, right? So I have the values here. Let me copy and paste. Copy and paste. Okay. So here we define a source block for modules location. Currently I'm using the local path using relative method. Otherwise you can go with GitHub URL. Otherwise you can go with the registry URL also, right? And secondly, I define input block for variables value. So here we have a AP South one reason, AMI ID. I'm going to launch this project prod environment with T2 macro with RAM AWS key with prod EC2 instance. Save and quit. And same manner, what I will do, I will go back to my, here you can see where I am. I am in my environment, and this is Dev terragrant.scl. Sorry, prod terragrant.scl. So I need to make the same in development also, right? So currently nothing is there. Let me create for development with different value. So for development, I want to go with this time T2 nano, not T2 macro, and the name of the instance is Dev EC2 instance, right? Rest of the thing you can change as per your own need. So now both terragon.scl file is ready for both environment with different value. Now let's talk about the directory structure one more time. So if I go on my project and if I say free dot command, you can notice in short we have a main project folder, and inside here we have a modules and environment folder. In modules we have a EC2 module with all configuration like main variable output.tf file, and environment folder we have a two different environment, one with dev and second one for production with their own terragon.scl configuration file where the input values are clearly mentioned, right? Now run the final step, which is deploying the terragon. So with everything with now current my setup is ready, it's time to final deployment. So for deployment we have a two method. First method, either we need to go one by one on environment folder, like one time for development, second time for prod, and run the command like init command, plan command, apply command, just like we run in the Terraform. But here we need to replace Terraform with Terragon command. I mean to say, suppose I need to go in environment, prod, and then EC2 prod. Here I have to run the command terragrunt apply or init or plan or destroy, something like that. This is the one by one on in both folder you have to move it. Otherwise, what you can do, we can centralize control from my root folder, which is project folder, right? So I can run the command terragrunt init. First of all, I need to initialize and hyphen all. So this all represent all environment, right? So let me press enter. See, started for both development and project. So we can control both in a one place. So currently what happened? Currently this initialized the backend for both environment from one place. So you can see it started for environment dev for backend as well as environment prod for backend. So if you have configured the backend file, it also automatically configured, but currently it will go with the local one. Let it be done. Then I'll go with the plan and apply command. So this is the location you can see dot environment dev dot terragon cache and this cache ID, and here the backend is going to be configured. It will take some time. I'm not going to pause the screen. Let it be go with that one. So you can see for prod Terraform has been successfully initialized, and for dev it is also successfully initialized. Very good. Let's go for the plan. So I go run the command terraform plan plan and all. So if everything is okay, you will see one resource going to be added in development as well as the prod with different values, right? See, one is going to be added, and this is for dev EC2 instance, and if I scroll up, one for prod EC2 instance. Cool. Let me go and apply. APPLY, apply. Okay, are you sure? Yes. So this command will create the EC2 instance defined in the terragrant SCL file, and you will be prompted to confirm the action. So you just type yes to proceed. So both resource going to be deployed on different environment, prod as well as dev with different values. See, started. AWS underscore instance creating and creating. So one is for prod and second for dev, right? So after deployment is successful, you should see the instance ID and the public IP on in the output and the terminal. See, here it is, instance ID and public IP. This is for development, right? And similarly, I'll got the output for prod also. and even you can log into the AWS Management Console and to verify from also there. See, I got the this time instance ID in public ID for prod, right? So this is for development and this is for production. So let me go verify from here. If I go on my AWS Management Console, and if I'm trying to go on my Mumbai region, I'm on AP South Mumbai. So let me quickly open the EC2, and here if I go on running, yep, 2 should be there. See, prod EC2 instance and dev EC2 instance, and one with T2 macro and second with this T2 nano. Very good. So this is how you can see that we can successfully control and manage with TerraGrunt. Now move to the last step, which is cleanup. To clean up the resource and avoid incurring cost, run the Terraform destroy all, right? DESTROY, destroy all. Again, are you sure? Yes. So this is, you can just control everything from TerraGrunt. Commands are available on the documentation, and I will suggest to everyone, please go with the documentation here, which is, I will share this link of this documentation at the end of my video description here. So please go and read this one and just implement this thing on your with Terraform project. The documentation is there. So finally, we are in the conclusion that TerraGrunt make it easier to manage Terraform configuration, and especially as your infrastructure scales by reducing duplications and providing clear structure for multiple environments. It enhances the overall developer experience. One of the key benefit of TerraGrunt is the ability to support all types of Terraform modules and modules, uh, and you can go with the different public modules or Terraform registry, shared remote modules, custom modules, and this flexibility allow you to efficiently manage and reuse the infrastructure component across the different projects and environment. So this is best part of TerraGrunt, and that's all about this demo. And I hope you enjoyed and learned new things. Soon I will come up with another new interesting topic. Till then, keep practicing. If you feel something I have missed or you wanted to know more something else, please reach out through my social media links, which is mentioned in the description. And if you like this video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon button for the latest update. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.